studio dog really likes is that particular corner of my carpet.
Yes, he does.
Because he comes running in here, sniffs everyone, and then immediately flops on that particular corner.
Yes, Fred the studio dog. And then the other day when we were trying to do a show, he was over there scratching, trying to nest. He is a nester. So, and now he's sleeping. So that must mean we're ready to go.
Yeah, all ready to go.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
It just, we're having beautiful fall weather. I've, getting things done. It's just, going through there. It's pleasant. How about yourself?
Very, very fine. This is a week. This has been a stunning couple of days. To where 6, 8, 15 times a day I've gone, what a beautiful day.
I know. You stand outside and go, wow.
Yeah. And the light is different,
It's that fall smell is about to start.
Yes.
And I know that the fall weddings are happening because I'm sort of seeing some of the stuff we're selling a lot of lingerie.
Are ya?
Yeah. And so I'm thinking there's a lot of bachelor and bachelorette parties and different things going on, or anniversaries, or the kids are back in school. And so maybe you're having
maybe people are ready to have sex.
God. Might have a few hours to themselves during the day. And it's just... It is the most glorious time, I think, in Minnesota. Is the fall.
Very beautiful.
It really is. I mean, I learned. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but one of my first jobs was at the old Donaldson's, and I worked in the China and Crystal department, which meant wedding registries when they were still hand done on papers, and he would fax over a little note saying what was sold to the other 9 stores and stuff like that, and he would write it down on people's forms. But the fall section was always 5 times as large as the spring section.
No kidding.
Because it's just gorgeous right now, and it's really quite romantic. Maybe that's why people are buying lots of lingerie too. It's just fall is romantic.
Yes, it is.
It's going through there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Now, couple things. You sent me a couple stories, and one of them, let's mention right off the bat. India decriminalized homosexual sex in a landmark legal decision.
I saw that just on a thing, and I switched it over, and this morning I read it in the paper, and it was a holdover from Victorian England when they were the rulers of India, and it took until 2018 to get rid of an 1860s law that is just it's horrifying that it took that long, but it is spectacular that they're going through there, and they still have very conservative sections of society. So I don't think they'll be going down the same-sex marriage anytime soon. Mm-hmm. But the ruling, and you can read sections of it in the article, it's just spectacular. It's not just about the consensual sex. The Supreme Court of India, and said all rights and obligations belong to all people in this country.
That's great.
It was really, really. It was just. I'm like, I got a little mushy when I was reading. I mean, I'm reading an article at the Times, and I was getting mushy. So that was really, really sweet. And I've seen some just wonderful pictures of people just being ecstatic. I mean, the fact that, to get people to be brave enough to be plaintiffs for this, they could have been jailed.
Yeah.
And so it's a big deal. I mean, there's 1 billion freaking people in that country. It's a big, big deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you and I found the same story, so I'm going to tell you mine. And if it's not the same as yours, but these two definitely go together. They both are about vulva.
Oh yeah, mine was the Planned Parenthood article on the vulva that I sent
you. Do yours first.
Okay, I think it was about 2-3 shows ago that even my own brain completely brain farted the word vulva, because you can say penis and balls, and you pretty much have the guy's genitals taken care of. Yep. But a woman's vulva is a lot of different parts. We use vagina, but that's just a part of it.
Right.
And so this is a spectacular. I figure if I brain fart the name, a lot of people may not know some basic anatomy terms. And so it's a spectacular article to be on there. But the vulva consists of the outer and the inner lips, the labia, the cervix, the vagina. There's all these parts. We have a lot of parts.
Yes, we do.
And they all work together beautifully.
Yes.
And so to really take a look at it, you need a mirror. But no, that's not what I'm saying. But the But the article is spectacular. It's from Planned Parenthood. It's one of my favorite places to find just really wonderful, simple explanations of things that a lot of people just try and make very difficult.
Yes.
So that was the reason I saw it is that I even screwed up this word a couple of shows ago.
Yep.
So
yeah,
vulva.
Vulva. Well, and like the vagina is really up internal, vulva is external. I mean, yeah. So it's kind of an interesting thing. So speaking of vulva, this particular article, there's a site that it pops up with some really funny threads. It's a British parents, women's, mothers site, Mumsnet. This one was, what do you call your parts, basically? Because vulva is, and I think that this has just been cycling in the news lately that people are saying it wrong. So this whole thread is about what do you call yours? Because, and some people are saying, vulva is just too formal for me. And somebody else said the same that you just did. That's hard to remember. So some of the lists there, and they argued with each other about whether or not things were appropriate. So, one woman said, I call the whole area my cookie. But cookie just covers when I refer to the fun parts. And another one, group of people use the word clunge based off a comedy. It was some British comedy. That's kind of a weird sounding joke. I did not know vajayjay came from Grey's Anatomy.
I thought it was an Oprah thing.
I did too, but that's what it says here, so I could be wrong. Then there were arguments about the term my bits. It divided users. One said it's so diminishing and dismissive. But the one that kept coming up time and time again, this one surprised me, foof. F-O-O-F. Foof. Foof. Foof.
That's what if that made it over to this side of the pond, I don't think it would make that much of an impression. I've been certain translations do entertain me. This made me think of I've been listening to a radio station on Sirius at the satellite radio, and I'm really enjoying it. And one of the stations is called Carolina Shag, because there's a dance called the shag. But if you listen to this, and if you know that shag is British slang for fucking. This whole radio station is hilarious because all the songs are about, about half the songs, I shouldn't say, not all of them, are about shagging or the shag dance and it's just, and sometimes the term, you just like, that has to, if someone comes over from Great Britain or that part of the world and turns on the radio, like in their rental car, how do they not drive off the road in hysterics?
Right. Do they do a lot of talking on there? Or is it
No. It's just all music.
Okay.
And it's all beach music from the Southeast United States, sort of in the 50s and 60s. And then they bring in some newer stuff for people who've done that style. And it's spectacular. Some of it's very regional. Some of it you recognize, a lot of 50s and 60s, but it's hard to explain. It's an amazing station. I just love it. I put it on. It's amazing music to clean by.
Really?
But sometimes it's like just all the shagging. They're talking about dancing and just like, okay, if I'm British, this is hilarious.
Yes. Yes.
And so I'm thinking, foof. We don't have, I can't, foof makes me think of like children's, like, I don't know, like a makeup foo. I don't know. Foof. There's not really something, we could make fun of.
There is a character from a children's show called Foofa. But hilariously, Fred the studio dog's nickname is Foo. And that comes from a night where my fiance partook of something he shouldn't have. Anyway, and was giggling his ass off, and long story. Anyway, so he's Foo, and I'll occasionally call him Foof. So I've been calling my poor male dog a vagina, basically. So anyway, I digress.
I realize that, I think most folks don't really refer to women's parts, crotch, groin, vagina. I think vagina probably gets used the most, even though it's the most incorrect term.
I'm guilty of using hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. It was just kind of like one of those deals. This really is a nice lead-in, though, to the next one.
Okay.
Strange sex trends from around the world. Some of these I have not heard of.
Oh, okay.
But this first one is so fucking gross. I can't even tell you. This is Austria.
Okay.
Okay, in rural
So the
Austria,
words-
which I always think of those people as like, what's the word I want? Just overly pristine, like they're what's the word I want?
Well, they're like crammed in between Germany and France and all this sort of stuff. So I can't. Okay, just trying to, not France, but the whole area there. I mean, there's a large German influence.
Oh, yeah.
I know that.
Oh, yeah.
So what do we got going on here?
So in rural Austria, women attend dances with apple slices in their armpits in the hope of finding a man who will take a bite of it at the end of the night.
I am so Googling that because that sounds like...
It dates back to the 19th century, allows women to capture their sexual scent or BO. And then they hand it over and let the guys smell it. And if they take a bite, I don't think it gets much grosser than that. That's disgusting.
Ew.
Yeah.
I know, we talk a lot about food on your vulva and all that as a bad idea. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking food in your armpits, equally bad.
Yes. I'll go with that.
Food is amazing. And sex is amazing.
Stop.
For me,
it doesn't work for you.
No, I don't want them together. But once again, I understand that is me.
No. Colleen, I think I'm with you. I think I'm with you. There's a village in Brazil, Mihinaku, I think. When a woman comes of age, she becomes available to suitors. They must bring her gifts in order to show he'll be a capable husband. They bring fish. So they bring back their biggest catch to the woman that they wish to marry. It's seen as a gift in turn for sexual favors once they're married. Mm-hmm. It's a sign for what's to come for the groom to be. If he's chosen, he has to live with his wife's family and help with household chores like fishing, carving, and boat building. Women have to have several children. The men get to have as much extramarital sex as they want.
It's almost like reverse dowry at that first part.
Mm-hmm. And then it kind of goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
So the sex.
So what happens to the children that the other guy, that the husband's having with the other folks?
Unclear.
With the other women? Okay.
Unclear. Russia, September 12th was... basically, it's called Bouquet, I guess. Well, that's not what they call it. It's the day of conception. September 12th has been designated in Russia for going home and having sex because their population has been declining. And Vladimir Putin even gave a speech and described the country's rapid population decrease as, quote, the most acute problem in contemporary Russia.
Actually,
everybody to go home and fuck.
Well, maybe they need. Well, maybe if it works, then Japan can do this because can figure out official bonk day. Personally, I think having a decent economy sort of helps people have sex. But that's if you can afford children, you will have children.
Here's the other funny thing about it. So the couples that have babies on June 12th, exactly 9 months after Bonk Day, get rewarded with prizes like cars or apartments.
Okay, well, that's a freaking lottery right there because we know that. I mean, it's 40 weeks.
Yeah,
but
I know
babies don't. Oh, that's a good way of hedging your bet there because okay, got to Google this now. How many people actually, women actually have the babies on their due date?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Okay, so France, there's a sex columnist over there. Her name, I don't even know how to pronounce her name. Yeah.
Lady sex columnist. There we go.
She works for French GQ. She says that 30 minutes is the average thought to be appropriate length of time to get to know somebody over a drink before hitting the sack in France. She says we don't have the third date rule or the stereotype, that we like lots of romancing. Myself, I personally don't want to have to wait until the end of the evening for sex. I want to go home immediately. They are also, the French, very turned off by people that are too drunk. This is from one of her recent.
Okay, I'm giggling of this because, really, in the U.S., isn't Tinder for that? You've already made the decision, right? Mm-hmm. This is someone, you're not swiping whichever direction you're supposed to swipe. I don't know what the hell it is. unless it's, unless you're thinking, I might want to fuck this person. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're already like, I mean, how many people have you known in your past where you meet someone and go, yeah, I do him. Like immediately whether or not you want to. You may change your mind later and saying that's going through there, but immediately, there has to be at least that immediate thing of
that there would be the likelihood that
you would.
Yeah.
Apparently I think people know really fast whether or not. I mean, I'm not saying things can evolve, but if you're meeting on a date, if you're meeting on the purpose of meeting someone, mm-hmm. 30 minutes in whether you do or not is another. But yeah, I think someone knows right away whether they would sleep with someone or not. I'm not saying they're going to, but I think someone would know enough in 30 minutes to figure that out.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Poland has some pretty weird ones. Dingus Day, Dyngus. It's a Polish holiday that falls the Monday after Easter. So the tradition is that if a man likes a woman, he has to chase her around with water and soak her to prove his affection. If that doesn't work, he hits the back of her legs with a pussy willow. Okay. Now,
well, no, Easter is a fertility. They just glommed on a pagan fertility holiday, so it's not that far away.
Okay. Well, the idea
mm-hmm.
is believed to have stemmed from the baptism of a Polish prince. The water symbolizing purification and fertility, and the pussy willow, the first buds of spring. Mm-hmm. The women then reciprocate the next day by throwing crockery at the men that they fancy, symbolizing revenge.
Is it already broken? Did they save up the crockery? Is there special crockery?
There needs crockery helmets.
Yeah, there's a lot of places in town. Have you ever seen like mugs that have little medallions on them? You can get them at a Renaissance Festival or the Original Pancake House. A lot of different places that have logo mugs are made by this company in St. Paul called Deneen Pottery. Okay. So I'm thinking maybe what they need to do is they need to make this fertility crockery that that you can throw. And they could have, little sayings on it,
like easy that. Breakaway, like movie crockery that doesn't hurt people,
something like that. It would be spectacular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, a guy unnamed showed up at the hospital with a 23-inch dildo lodged in his colon
because it was not made to go there.
Okay.
There are toys that are made for anal play, and they have large flanges so they do not get sucked into your anus, because once you get something in there, there are several muscles that will hold things in. You are not just pooping it out. Mm-mm. Okay.
That is Colleen's PSA.
Yep.
And
really, every other week, every third week, there's someone who is stuck an inappropriate object in their ass. And there are so many appropriate objects.
Yeah, it's not like there's nothing mm-hmm. available.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The 31-year-old male went to the hospital 24 hours after the dildo became stuck. He told doctors he was suffering from mild abdominal pain. X-ray showed the dildo in the colon, and doctors, this is in Italy, they tried to get it using all the standard techniques and medical grabbing devices that they had, mm-hmm. but due to the smoothness and size of the object, none of the tools that they had were able to grab hold of the sex toy. So they had to invent a new tool using medical wire to latch onto it and grab it like a lasso and mm-hmm. yank it out. The dildo noose.
I really, really hope that he was out for this.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. No. And honestly, a lot of times we read things and part of my body will clench. Mm-hmm. This is just so, I'm just like, no.
No, it's not a good thing. Once again, there are toys.
Of course, I'm just trying to imagine, it's probably a Doc Johnson or, because they make some really large dildos. So there could be some European brands that, they don't get shipped over here. Mm-hmm. But it was probably a double-ended one. If they're able to get a lasso and some room around it, if it was 23 inches long. Mm-hmm.
Dedicated to Miss Megan, this week's sex robot story. wait a minute. Before I talk about this, I have to tell you, it's not the Roomba brand, but I got a Samsung iRobot vacuum that goes and does its thing. I'm obsessed with it. I'm absolutely obsessed with the thing. It is so cool. It does amazing. Have you ever seen one of these things?
No, actually, my sister has one, and I don't know whether she still uses it because with 3 cats and a dog and 4 kids and a husband, there's just too much stuff in the way. I mean, I just think it would, I think it got like stepped on, kicked, tripped over too many times or something like that. I'm pretty sure she had one, but I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's awesome, number one, because it goes right up to stuff, and it's got this like little camera thing. It stops just short, pivots, turns. You can make it go whichever way you want. But the coolest thing is, like, it can be on the other side of the house, and there's a button on the remote. You can hit home, and it goes back to its little dock and docks itself on the charger.
Actually, my favorite thing about the remote is the cat in the shark suit sitting on top of. Yeah, I've seen the YouTube video.
Okay, but it's the coolest fucking thing. But even though I like a robot sucks up grime off my floor, I still don't want to fuck one. No. Just FYI. Mm-hmm. But what they have done now is made the world's first movie with sex robots. The first adult sex robot movie. And it's a 28-minute film starring adult performers Sophia Curley and Dorian Del Isla. And it's a film which is about how a man is caught by his girlfriend bonking a robot in a Barcelona bordello. This was done by the studio producer company called Private. And they said the whole thing's a bit tongue-in-cheek. It was fun to do. The cast had a ball. Working with the doll was like seeing the future. This is going to be a big thing. And they used Lumidolls. So those are the really expensive ones. So get ready, guys, because this is going to be going on.
It's just a toy. There were plenty of movies with toys in them. This is just a very expensive toy.
Yeah. I probably should have moved this up and done this along with the vulva stories, but debunking vagina myths. I thought we'd run through some of these quick. Number one, having a lot of sex stretches the labia. Not true. No. That was believed. They come in all shapes and sizes, but it was once believed that if you had, long labia, that you had fucked a lot. Number two, and Colleen has brought this up many times, pubic hair is dirty. No, it's not. It actually helps protect it. But it's become in vogue, and now it's kind of a choice thing. But women who do, or anybody who takes it all off, at more risk for STIs. Here it is. This is the piece that I was trying to remember. The vagina is not the whole package. It is a tube that leads from the cervix down to the vulva. And so, yes. And she noted in that particular segment how many people think that they pee out of their vagina. It's the urethra, just so you know. Douching.
Not necessary.
Debunked.
Yep. Absolutely not necessary.
Yes.
Keep strong soaps. Keep all that stuff away. Mild soap, water, you're just fine.
Yes. Yes. So, got to go back through what the month of your birth reveals about your sex life.
Okay.
This is a Cosmo thing.
Oh.
I need to... Oh, these are always so over the top. I couldn't.
Actually, for a couple of years, I was getting Men's Health and Cosmo sent to the office here because in the back of each one, there was usually like a sex toy of the month. And I realized that most of the times these things are completely useless or paid for by the company. It wasn't, there was nothing about it that to me felt like someone was really reviewing this toy. So I stopped doing that. And I just... my suspension of disbelief as I'm flipping through some of this stuff. I mean, there's a nugget of truth in a lot of this stuff, but to wade through the other stuff just makes my brain hurt.
Yeah.
This
will too. You ready? Colleen's already rubbing her forehead. January, kinkiest. And it says, just like November, they are happy to experiment. February, they are said to be adventurous. They like to focus on the bigger picture, and you have to try to get them to connect emotionally. March, they are very intense and bonded. I mean, is this just like anybody could say this about anything?
I know. These are hilarious.
April, hot, intense, passionate because they're ruled by Mars, but they get tired of people quickly. May, you want sex to be comfortable, sensual, and warm. Think satin sheets. June.
You know, satin sheets seem like a good idea. But, I mean, really, you can't get any traction on those suckers at all. I mean, it's just...
Are they hot?
And they don't breathe. You know, it's going through there. And the same thing with, like, 1,000-count sheets. Hotter than hell.
Really?
I mean, they're just... It's too heavy. And you just... too much work, and you can't get out of the way. You want something soft. Oh, sorry. I'm having some...
No.
But, you know, I looked into selling sheets and doing some things because I thought it would be a nice accessory once. I looked at the price, I looked at the stuff, and then I just realized everything just slides all over. No, in theory, because it was it a Vegas hotel room that had, I don't know. It was just this room. My sister was graduating. We got rooms at Caesars, and because she went to school in Vegas. And I got this room, and it's like there were mirrors on the ceiling and like slippery sheets. And I'm like, what about this what did I miss? It was so unsexy. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Sorry, I got distracted. Where was it?
If you want phone sex or to talk dirty, June, I guess, is going to be your guy or gal. They want to know everything about everything, so they like trying every position. July, they are deep and emotional people. They have to feel safe, and then they like to please once they feel safe. August,
seriously, I'm July. That is the most boring goddamn thing ever.
Okay, August, either extremely selfish or extremely generous. Whatever the fuck that means. September.
That'd be my favorite one yet.
September.
Okay.
Passionate but always in control. They don't always immediately throw themselves into sex. They need an emotional component. October, they like to take their time and linger. They like romance.
I thought you would say they would like costumes. Okay. So.
Yeah, no. November, that would be me. Those born in November are the epitome of passionate sex. They need to possess their partners. They want to be possessed. They are experimental and will try every sex act imaginable.
Wasn't that also February? Did they said that?
January.
January.
December-born people are said to be creative. They like to create stories and role play. So there you go.
You see, what would be really fun is that this could be archived. And I'm thinking maybe 4 or 5 years down the road, Cosmo will run this again, and they will just scramble everything. Probably. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I could write one. Like what your birth month says about the sex toy you like. Oh.
Why don't you do that for one of the newsletters? That would be hilarious. March, they like butt plugs.
Well, hell, everybody. Judging by the amount of butt plugs we sell, I'm sure that's the thing. Is like everybody likes everything. For the most part. Oh, sorry.
No.
Okay, now, my brain is... my brain is having a little segue over here, a little section of it.
I know what you're going to be doing the next couple of days. I know what you're doing.
I do need to write a blog.
That would be hilarious.
I just haven't been in the mood.
You should write this and just say,
I will just have to... Okay, I've been reading some stuff. I'm going to make my own shit up here. Here we go.
Because I believe that shit's made up, so...
Yeah.
Here, okay. That's awesome.
Sorry.
Okay, just check. Let this headline sink in. Naked drunk Tarzan impales himself on fence.
Okay, so if he's naked, what was he swinging on a vine? Does that make it Tarzan-y? Or did he have a
No.
Okay.
It says.
Okay. I'm enjoying the headline.
What makes him Tarzan? I missed that part. That's really because he was a streaker. And this happened in Russia.
Or was he making the Tarzan noise?
Probably.
Which I can't do, but it is pretty. Or was he really, 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 really buff?
Yeah.
Because, you think Tarzan. You're not thinking sort of squishy.
Okay,
You're thinking that lovely little V in the lower abdomen and the glistening chest and stuff like that.
I figured out why he got called Tarzan.
Okay.
because he just dropped trow at a party, took off, and tried to fling himself over a mental fence. So that's how he got the nickname Drunk Tarzan, because he was trying to fly over the fence.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Then he got skewered on the fence like a kebab. They had to call the police, and it was, pretty serious.
Then again, if you're acting like this, you're probably too drunk to have sex and have children. So therein lies your problem in Russia.
See? Mm-hmm. Well, and I'm thinking...
Especially if shit was, you don't know what was impaled there, but that can't be good. I mean, if you impale any part of your body, I'm guessing that you're not having sex anytime soon.
Probably not. And quite honestly, it's probably good that this guy doesn't pass those genes on to anybody else.
Correct.
It's a Darwin thing. Mm-hmm. Just saying.
Definitely Darwin
Thinning
thing.
the herd.
Mm-hmm.
So have you seen the viral video of the wedding, the British wedding, where the girl catches the bouquet and the boyfriend freaks out and runs away?
Nope, I've missed that one.
It's hysterical, and it's very funny, and it's like so real though. He's like, oh fuck, and he just like bails, and a lot of people have commented. It keeps getting reshared and stuff, and people are like, yeah, mine would do the same thing.
I think, the garter and the bouquet and all that. It's just I've made it made it a point to not be anywhere near any bouquet throwing ever, because I think it's just a hideous tradition.
I do too.
I was like,
I won't go.
No, I do not go. No, I have never, ever stood up anywhere near that I can think of at any, and I've been in a lot of effing weddings.
I know
and
you have.
guessed a lot of weddings too.
Many?
Oh God. Probably had an official role in 9-10 weddings or something like that.
Yeah.
Between maid of honor, bridesmaid, hostess at the reception. I helped, did the, what's it, just sort of helping the personal attendant to the bride or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've had clipboards, and organized things. We showed up at a reception once at one friend's place and the cake wasn't put together. We're like, fuck, the bride and groom are going to be here like in half an hour. And we're all relatively intelligent women because it was all women with us. And so we put the cake together and put the flowers on it. And we're like, shit.
Oh, man. That's a good friend.
Just show up.
That's a good friend.
It was like,
actually.
We have to put this... We're like, where the hell's the... I don't know. I don't know what got missing. All I know is that we're the ones that put the cake together.
Well, God bless you guys. I mean, that's really nice.
Drove the bride and groom back to the hotel room after the reception because they were standing there and they had everything planned out. They forgot one thing: how they were getting from the reception to the hotel.
A lot of people do that,
but at least we were all staying at the same place. Okay. It was very, very funny. I had to rearrange my whole car. The bride had to sit in back with her enormous dress, and the groom was up in the passenger seat with me.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I've done some cooking for a wedding, a friend's father's wedding. I was helped the day before. We helped with the cooking and stuff like that.
That's so nice.
I've also been at the births of 9 babies. I mean, I'm sort of good at stuff.
You've done a lot of traditional stuff.
I've never been married or given birth, but I've been involved in a lot of weddings, and I've been at the. And
you got invited to be at the births because you're the coach, the person that people choose because you're so calm.
I don't. Yeah, I guess so. Well, that was my best friend who asked me the first time. They're one of my closest friends, and I guess it got out that I was really good at it.
Okay.
I guess I'm good at breathing and getting. I just get stuff done.
And you didn't get distraught with her. No,
I've done it. I have scooped poop out of a birthing pool. I go get a nurse. I have cut umbilical cords. I've held legs. I've reached over the top and breathed with one, with a couple of different, folks. I've got my head in their ear, and just breathing with them. It was just whatever sort of needs to be done. One time I discovered I was allergic to my pants. It was really warm in the delivery room and we were at a concert and I was wearing black velvet pants. And I'm like, why are my legs itchy? And I went to go use the restroom and I realized my legs, I was sweating so much the dye from the pants was leaching onto my legs and I had these huge hives.
Oh, God.
And I had to go back in the room and go, I'm allergic to my pants. And the delivery nurse looks at me because it was still early in the evening. I go, look. And she's like, oh, let's get you some scrubs. So I had on a nice top and scrubs.
That's great. Oh, my God.
But it was just, I'm allergic to my pants.
God. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
you know what?
I'm actually fairly calm when it comes to stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that about you.
Yeah.
No, thinking about that makes perfect sense. I mean, you'd be there. That is cool. Do you want to, I got another list.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Ridiculous sex euphemisms.
Oh, I'm going to love this one. Okay, let's see. Okay.
Sweeping the special chimney. All I can see is Dick Van Dyke,
honestly,
chimney.
Or the bad Say No More guy from Monty Python.
Oh, God,
everything,
yes.
yes. I'm picturing, I think, was that Palin or Idol? I don't know. I'm pretty sure John Cleese was one of them. But I can't
he's
remember
always
which
one of them.
Okay.
And I can't look at that man without peeing my pants laughing. John Cleese. Shake the trailer.
Okay, okay. I have seen shaking trailers, so I get this one.
Hit a home run. Ooh, we've never heard that one. Shuck the oyster. Have you heard that one?
No. Oh, Jesus.
Believed to be thought of because, the connection to the assumption that those are oysters are aphrodisiacs. Interior decorating. This is the household jobs. Like, let's go do it yourself.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah, that one's pretty lame. I must see the other ones, but that one's
How's your father? This goes back to the Victorian era joke about nervous men wanting to know whether any overprotective dads would be waiting to jump out if they made a move. How's the father? Thread the needle. Enrage the cave. My cave doesn't get pissed unless something terrible's happening.
Yeah,
So
enrage the cage. Just no.
Like
If something's enraged, it just does not want to have sex.
Or do you want your penis in something that's mad?
No, that's
another thing.
really that sounds like horror porn. Rare enrage
there.
the cage. Yeah.
Wiggle the toothpick. No, I don't want to.
No.
Open the gates of Mordor. That's for the Lord of the Rings fans. Release the Kraken. Nothing says love like referring to sex as letting a giant squid out. Knock boots.
I suppose. I mean, I remember when I first heard that one eons ago when you're like a kid or something, and I always picture like hiking boots that are like half unlaced because you got really close to getting undressed and then you couldn't really wait for it. So they're still on. They're not late. I picture them unlaced.
Okay.
I always do.
Make the beast with two backs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's Shakespearean.
Yeah.
That actually, that came from their bump uglies. That, and yuck. Polish the porpoise.
Okay, they haven't. It's not stupid, but I don't get it. Does that make any sense? Because sometimes
Give her a green gown. Have you ever heard of that one? The roots in that is believed to be back in the 1300s. People said that the women might stand up to find herself covered in grass stains because they were out in the meadow fucking.
Okay, yes.
The green gown.
That works.
Test the suspension.
Jesus.
That's kind of funny.
I'm really glad we're sort of maybe getting out. I mean, you have a euphemism every now and then when you're being silly, but I'm glad you really don't need them anymore. As per se.
Yeah, because people just say sex now.
Yeah,
they didn't used to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of funny. What does your O face say about you? I think somebody got this idea after the resting bitch face thing became so big. When people start talking about it.
I wonder if there's a gender neutral for that, because I know plenty of guys that just have it a neutral face. I mean, because all the time when I was younger, I would get do you feel well? Is something wrong? I do have just a very neutral, face. And of course they tell women more to smile than they tell men. I mean, which is annoying as hell. But I don't, but there are guys that you can't read that you think. Mm-hmm. You're like, they're just fine. That's their thing.
Yeah.
So just, right.
Yeah. The smile.
Maybe resting cranky face, would be, that's neutral enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's irritating. Okay. Well, here we go. The eyes shut face. Allegedly, you know what you want. Well, if you've gotten to the O face, you're getting it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. The screaming face means you might be faking it, and they say, think when Harry met Sally. The surprised face, you've lost control. That's why you're surprised. Because you didn't see it coming, or yourself coming. And there you are.
Okay.
The silent face means you're fantasizing. Thoughts?
Well, these aren't like faces. These are, I don't even know what these are like, they're like modes of orgasm, not faces of orgasm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but modes of orgasm sounds dumb, so they went with faces. Okay.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. These last couple stories are pretty. I'm gonna go with the kind of freaky one, and then we'll end up on Gwyneth Paltrow. Because pretty much everything shuts down after you say that.
What is she steaming now? Okay.
Good God, or shoving up her hoo-ha, whatever, in her foof, whatever, cookie. So this is really, really gross. No.
I just love how you say, really, just like, is this milk bad? Here, smell this.
Yeah, I know. Or does this taste weird? Do you taste it? I didn't really think of it that way. Well, you're going to hear it anyway. Damn it.
I know. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing this later in the day. Maybe I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea, but I'm sort of liking it right now. Okay.
I don't either. It's just so strange.
Okay.
So, this happened in England, and basically it's a story about a trans man jailed for tricking women with a fake penis, and basically with two different women that he had relations with.
They didn't know?
Nope. And I'll tell you what.
Wasn't that a part of the deal in the movie with she won the Oscar for it? No, not. She was a trans male, and she had the fake dildo, and the one gal didn't know. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Hillary Swank. In the
in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie thingy. Okay.
Yeah.
But going through there, because I know at that one point she was stuffing and had a dildo out, and they had sex, and the person didn't know.
Yeah, well, this was two relationships, and this trans person went so far as to shame the women for not getting pregnant. Isn't that? Okay, I told you it was creepy.
That's just an asshole. I mean, the trans really has nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? Yep. Because you could have a vasectomy and not tell someone, or just be sterile naturally because you had German measles or something like that. Yep. That's just asshole. And that has no gender.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I agree. Mm-hmm. Refused to allow the women to see him naked. Always performed in bed with lights out. Both victims, whose identities are protected, were said to have suffered extreme pain during intercourse, and also they both got thrush. So this is a disgusting court case, and there's a very good likelihood this person.
So in other words, this moron wasn't cleaning his toys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is really
that just yeah.
Yeah.
What an ass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's just totally incomplete.
And I can see I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know about the English audio, but I mean, I think you could get someone for fraud. I mean, they, for that way going through there. I think you got to,
Yep.
I mean, if you've gone through the whole transition, you did all that sort of stuff, I don't know, but if this, if there are paths that went that I think definitely go down the fraud.
Yeah, I mean, just lying to people, that is really terrifying. So there's a movie out called The Spy Gone North, and it is supposedly the true story, check this shit out, of a South Korean spy by the name of Park Chae-sao, codename Black Venus, who hid a miniature recorder in his penis to be able to get into a meeting with the now deceased former North Korean leader Kim Jong-il, so Eun's father, Il. And so, that's how he did it. And he was also trained to commit suicide using one finger in case they found out, so that they wouldn't be able to torture him.
Ow.
Well,
but I'm just but obviously got back south, right?
Oh yeah,
okay.
He made it. But this is
but hiding a recording device
in your penis.
In your penis.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's some small things, but that's dedicated.
That's very dedicated, and furthermore, people put stupider stuff in there for dumber reasons. So. Yeah.
I guess, because can you imagine now, though, that everybody probably has their junk checked because this came out? Now they have to look at all the penises.
Well, it's about fucking time, right? Women have had to drop and bend over forever.
Yeah.
So, okay. And we leave you today with this. Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop is going to pay $145,000 over vaginal eggs. So, if you, like Colleen and I have expressed, think it's bullshit that putting an egg-shaped stone up the hoo-ha can do wonders for your health and hormones, 10 California counties feel the same way. So they sued.
There are weighted objects that you can use to help with Kegels. They exist. Doctors prescribe them. They're Kegel weights, vaginal weights. You can use them to help with the Kegels, to help with muscle control, down there, in your groin. But I'm pretty sure that that the granite-shaped egg that she was selling probably didn't, if she was just saying, use this weight, clench, do that, and, you can help with your pelvic muscle control, that's fine. I'm guessing possibly she went a couple steps further.
Yep. She, there's actually a settlement. If you purchase between January 12th and August 31st of 2017, you can get a refund by check out the number 844-WTF-GOOP is the line. And, there's a customer service site or whatever, but the claims were that the eggs had the ability to balance hormones, prevent uterine prolapse, regulate menstrual cycles, and increase bladder control.
The only one it was going to possibly do is increase bladder control. Because if you're doing the Kegel exercises, there are, like I said, they sell weights for that. You can do that right now.
Yeah. Well, there it is. That is a wrap on the Knuckles for Gwyneth Paltrow.